To find the common denominator in fractions, we can achieve this in steps. Step 1 is going to be to find the multiples of each fraction's denominator, and it does not matter whether we have 2 fractions, 3, 4, or 5 fractions. Step 2 will be to circle the multiple shared by each of the fractions, and then you're going to choose one of those shared multiples to find an equivalent fraction. If you pick the one that is the smallest that are shared, the smallest multiple shared by the fractions, that's called the least common denominator. Okay, we have 2 fractions that we want to find the common denominator for. The first one is 4/5 and the second one is 2/3. So my first step is to find the multiples of the 2 denominators. And the multiples are the answers to their multiplication facts. So 3, the multiples are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and so on. The multiples of 5 are going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I'm going to stop there. Once I see that they share a multiple, I'm able to stop. Now I need to circle the multiples that are shared. And the first one that I see that's shared is the number 15. So I'm going to use now 15 as my new denominator. So now I've rewritten 4/5, and I want to see how many pieces that's going to be in 15ths. So I can do that by either modeling it or I can solve it with an equivalent fraction. So I'm going to say to myself, what times 5 gave me that 15 in the denominator? And I know that that's 3. Okay, but I can not only manipulate the denominator, I also must manipulate the numerator with the same factor. So the 3/3 is still multiplying by 1 whole, and so 3 times 4 happens to be 12, and 3 times 5 is the 15. So now I have an equivalent fraction to 4/5, which is 12/15, and it is in that common denominator of 15. Now I'm going to move down to my 2/3, and 2/3 I also want to get into 15ths, and again I'm going to do that same process, and I'm going to think what times 3 equaled that 15, and that's going to be 5. And again, I must also multiply my numerator by that same factor 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. So an equivalent fraction to 2/3 is 10/15, and now if you notice, both of my new fractions are in 15ths, and I am able to compare them, or I would be able to order them. And no, 12/15 does not equal 10/15. So if you were trying to find out if 4/5 and 2/3 were equal to each other, they are not. But the common denominator in both examples is 15.